How are we? How are we? Hello, everyone, and good morning. It is Game Week 33, the big double of the season. Probably the most important week in terms of what you can do with your rank potentially left, unless you've got lots of chips left to play in weeks that other people might not to have them. It's probably the biggest week of the season. I think there's about 90% of people looking to play a chip this week. I mean, I can start a poll just as we kick off the stream, and then I'll say what chip active, free hit, bench boost, wildcard / triple captain, and no chip. And we'll see how people reply. I hope you're all doing well. Before we get into the stream, of course, we will do a usual round of hellos to say hello to all of you in the chat, particularly those of you coming in early. We will also give away a few memberships to those of you who are in the stream early, those base tier memberships, so you can just start getting your chat highlighted. You can use the emojis and everything like that. We gave away a few at the beginning of the last stream. I didn't remember to do the second 5 at the end, so we will do them at the beginning of this stream instead, just to say thank you to all of you for being in nice and early. But hello to Ian, hello to Wade, Fiona, Immortal, Adrian, hello to all the members and moderators in this morning. Thank you all very much, especially for your support, and to everyone else. We've got Andy, we've got Key, we've got FPL Imps, we've got Elite, Sean, Elijah, Ozspike is in, Robin, FPL Robin, Dylan, Tony, Alfie, Jordan, Chad, Tespo, Omizi, the FPL Pixel, JCG, we've got Callum, we've got Ruben, we've got FPL Ulster, we've got James, we've got Borian, Alfie, Amy, and Callum. Hello to everyone. Right, let me fire across some of these memberships. How do I do it again? This button. Yeah, 5 still to go this month. So let's do that to 5 people in the chat as well. If it looks or sounds a little bit different, I know I talk about this a lot. I am with some friends this weekend. So I'm streaming in like they have like a pod, like summer house in their garden where it's sort of an office, but it is like a sauna in here this morning, I think, because the sun has been shining in, and I am incredibly warm. So I've now got the window open, but then I hear all like the cars going past. So I'm gonna keep that open briefly to try and cool it down in here slightly, and then I'll probably close it if it makes too much noise. So let's see who gets them. So, for my team, I was literally this close to making my transfer last night. Literally this close to selling Gabriel to Pascal Strauch. And then I decided not to do it. I literally had the whole thing loaded in. I had the tweet ready to go of my transfer. I had like the images saved. I'd written the tweet. And I was just waiting to confirm the transfer. I was waiting for the embargoed press conferences. 10:30 came along, and then there weren't any City quotes. So I was going to wait until 11 to see if there were any more. And nothing came. And then I was like, I'm going to buy Pascal Strauch. But the more I looked at it, the more I was just saying to myself, I really struggled to see if Pascal Strauch is the better option over Bijol. Now, it's the security and safety of minutes that you get with Bijol. I can still afford Strauch, right? But I do have 2 planned transfers in 35, which I now can't afford because Gabriel dropped. I am going to sell Gabriel. That's why he's in my starting 11. It's going to be a Leeds defender. So everyone's like, oh, well, you want to go Strauch just because he's slightly more nailed. I mean, Leeds fans don't expect Bijol to come back out of the team. But I only need the defender this week. In game week 35, O'Reilly goes away to Everton. Gabriel will come back into my team in place of Senesi. Sorry, one sec. There we go. Gabriel will come back into my team in place of Senesi, and I will have James Hill at home to Crystal Palace. So I don't actually need that Leeds defender on the Friday night in game week 35. I only need them this week. So in that case, I do wonder about going Bijol. Now, I was looking at some of the Fantasy Football Scout data, and if I just go and compare, again, they're still running a big discount at the moment. They're running a 21-day free trial for anyone who wants to try it out for themselves. So Bijol's DEFCON is just better. The hit rate is pretty similar, but if we look at, if we put in a specific game week range, so for example, if we go from game week 20 to where we are now, so I'm just going to put game week 37, and now I filter that, it does boost Bijol's DEFCON recently. Now, I'm trying to work out whether that's really something to care about, because let's say Bijol hits it twice in the double and Strauch hits it just once in the double. Does that really make that much of a difference to who you should be picking? Like, is that 2 points really that worthwhile? Maybe not. Maybe I should just go for the more nailed option. But if you look, yeah, again, it's just slightly higher. It's not a huge difference, but it is definitely better for Bijol, particularly in the second half of the season. So I like that with him. The other thing I was looking at, and actually I think the main reason that I decided not to hit confirm, is one specific game week. It was this Brentford at home where he got, they drew 0-0, which is not always going to happen, but he got 16 DEFCON in that game, and he got 3 bonus. And I think he may have got, he also got a bonus point. Did he? No, he didn't. Right. It's only happened once. But Strauch this season got 1 bonus at home to United and 2 on the opening day. And those are the only weeks that he's ever picked up DEFCON, ever picked up bonus. That's because he got an assist against United, and then just on the opening day he got 2. So I do think there is a possibility that if there's a low scoring game, that Bijol is worth the risk over him for me. Bijol, sorry. It rhymes with Puyol. I know, I've seen the comments on my videos telling me that I'm pronouncing Jakob Bijol's name wrong. Bijol. So just to compare them to the other Leeds defenders. So you've got Bogle, you've got Goodmanson, and you've got James Justin. The issue with Justin is he almost never gets DEFCON. Right? So again, let's go on this and let's have a look. Because one thing you can do on here that I use quite a lot is have a look at the team profiles. So I go Leeds. And we can have a look and compare all of their players. Bijol comes off when they swap to a back 4 at halftime, whereas Strauch doesn't. But I'm not sure that is the case while Rodon's out, because it would be really weird for them to play a back 4 with James Justin at centre-back. Like, that's been when it's been Rodon, Strauch, Justin, and they've then swapped. Swapped it around. So Justin doesn't really hit DEFCON, and he's playing as a centre-back. Goodmanson's attacking threat is good. Bogle's attacking threat is good. But if they get 1 assist across the double, which statistically is less likely than one of the others getting DEFCON. So, right, if we have a look here, then I'm just not sure that the upside actually is there for the defenders, for the attacking fullbacks. I think it's pretty close. I also think they're slightly bigger minutes risk just because of the amount of running that they do compared to the others. So Bijol, 42% over the season. Strauch, 41%. Bogle, 6%. Goodmanson, 6%. Justin 8%, right? So you're almost certain that the fullbacks, if you go for them, have to get an attacking return to even match the centre-backs, right? They have to get one assist to basically cover the DEFCON that the centre-backs are likely to get, which just means it doesn't feel particularly great. If I was taking a punt, though, I probably would go with Bogle. I thought he looked so good against Manchester United. Yeah. Why am I playing a back four this week? So I originally had it set up, and if people want to correct me, I mean, it doesn't actually matter as it's part of the bench boost, but I had Hill or Senesi on the bench, one of them over Hinchelwood, and I was playing a back four. But the more I looked at it, I actually thought to myself, I don't think that's actually how I would line up. I don't think that Senesi or Hill are worse picks than Hinchelwood. Now, if you think that I should play a back four, I mean, I know it technically doesn't matter, but I'm just working out what the bench boost would be worth. I just don't think I would start Hinchelwood over Hill or Senesi. I think Hill and Senesi are probably better picks. Now, maybe I would to have one Leeds, one, Bournemouth, one Leeds, one City defender in my team. But I think I would probably play the Bournemouth defender over Hinchelwood. That's probably why I've got it set up as it is. So in terms of the Leeds defender, I think if you're on free hit this week, you have the luxury of doing something else. Like you can go Bogle on free hit. You can take a punt on it. If you're on bench boost and you're looking to play towards the end of the season, I don't think that risk is worth it. Now, Biol also comes with its own risk, right? Because there is a chance that Rodon comes back into the team and Biol loses his place. And as people have said, if they swap between a back five and a back four mid-game, it likely is Biol that loses his place. So there are risks to him as well. Strauch is definitely the safest. And whether I keep or sell Pascal Strauch really just comes down to whether I plan on buying Gordon or not. Because in game week 35, the plan was Senesi back to Gabriel and Hinchelwood to Gordon. But I now can't afford it. So I would have to sell Tavernier, which is not the end of the world in game week 35 or game week 36. So I might still end up with Pascal Strauch, and just like that, someone has started their lawnmower. So I'm probably going to have to go and shut the door. But that's why I'm having a little bit of a debate in my mind. A few questions. Should I play Senesi or Enzo? You're already playing Hill. So let me shut that door. And hopefully you can't hear that now. So I think the Chelsea attack is an interesting one, particularly with Manchester United likely being without all of Yoro, Maguire, Martinez, De Ligt, and Kobbie Mainoo this weekend. So I actually think I would go with Enzo as my fourth midfielder on free hit now. In the free hit draft I did for the video yesterday, I went with Enzo Fernandez in that starting midfield because I put O'Reilly back into the defence because of the quotes. And I suppose we haven't even spoken about O'Reilly yet this stream. So quotes from Pep Guardiola when he was asked about him, he said he was fine. So we take that as much of a positive as we was going to get. Hopefully rules him in. I know there is a concern from people about whether he starts both games in the double game week or not. And I understand that concern to some extent. But if the time frame of this week plays out as it could have done based on what we might know, that on Monday he was potentially pictured doing stretches and recovery with the team, which might mean that he's trained all week, which means he is probably fully fine. In which case, I think he probably does start Arsenal at home and Burnley away. Why would Pep rotate his team for Burnley away if it was to put them at the top of the Premier League, also when there is goal difference on the line? It is not just about beating Burnley. If they beat Arsenal this weekend, they will want to put as much of a minutes risk, not as much of a minutes risk, sorry, I was reading a question someone sent, as much of a goal difference gap. So let's say they win by one this weekend. there will then just be a 1 goal difference between them going into the Burnley game. So Pep will want to use that as an opportunity to try and put a couple of goals between them. Because I don't think many of us, because Arsenal have also got to play Burnley at home towards the end of the season. So it is possible that the title goes down to goal difference. And as a result, Pep won't want to rotate against Burnley and risk winning that game 1-0, because if they win that game 1-0, that's not very good for their chances of winning the league. They would want to put a few goals on the board in order to try and add that bit of a buffer, which is also why when people are wondering about gambling against Haaland for captaincy, I don't particularly like it, because we could be in a situation where City are going into that Burnley game wanting to score lots of goals and not just... We often see with City that they might score 2 or 3, go 3-0 up, and I think Pep actually has it in his mind that 3-0 is the scoreline that he feels safe at, not a 2-goal lead. They go 3-0 up or 3-1 and then they sit back and they're a bit more comfortable. I don't know if we'll see that against Burnley this week. So I do think there's a world where that City attack, they don't rest and rotate against Burnley. So I do think O'Reilly probably starts both in the double. How many hits on bench boost with 1 free transfer, Bowen, Thiago, Bruno? So Bowen, Thiago, Bruno, I wouldn't sell. Bowen plays a Palace team who look like they might still be partying after their Conference League win. Thiago is chasing the Golden Boot and plays at home to Fulham. And then Bruno is a great pick. You want all of these players long term. I wouldn't sell any. The only player I would consider selling on bench boost this week is Gabriel. And that's for a few reasons. I think the gap between what Gabriel can potentially do to the other defenders is reasonable. 7 or 8 points potentially with DEFCON and a clean sheet. And I don't expect a clean sheet from Gabriel. Whereas when you look at it like Thiago versus Calvert-Lewin, I'm pretty certain Calvert-Lewin will blank in one of the 2 games. In which case it's a single where he might get a return versus a single for Thiago, in which case I'd rather Thiago. I wouldn't be selling. Thiago, Bowen, Bruno are probably the top 3. Gabriel, it's difficult. If you've got lots of transfers, I think I would sell Gabriel in my situation if you're on bench boost. The less transfers you have, the more conscious I would be of making that move. And I would probably either have just started last week without Gabriel in my team if I had a couple of transfers, or I would be considering just playing the bench boost with Gabriel on it. Is João Pedro essential? No, I actually think you could go Calvert-Lewin, Welbeck over going João Pedro. I don't think you have to have João Pedro. I do think, though, that Man United are likely to have... Man United fans in the chat, let me know. Who do you think will be playing at centre-back for you this weekend? They might have another Ugarte, Casemiro central midfield, which didn't work against Leeds. And they might have a centre-back pairing of of Heaven and Shaw. In which case, Dallo is at right back and Malacia is at left back. Shaw and Heaven. But then who plays left back? Who plays left back? Because Mazraoui. Dallo and Mazraoui. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, Mazraoui. So, that doesn't feel particularly great. So, it's a gamble to go against these Chelsea players this week, despite the fact that they haven't scored in 3 games. Would I start Bruno or Bijol? I'd always start the doubler. Triple captain Haaland versus O'Reilly versus Semenyo. I don't hate the triple captain on O'Reilly, but just for me, the fact that I think City might be chasing goal difference away at Burnley means I would always triple captain Haaland this week. On free hit, Welbeck or DCL? I think this might be the single hardest question for me to answer this week. As time has gone on, I've become more and more in favour of going Welbeck over DCL on free hit. DCL was still in my free hit draft that I made yesterday, but it was very close. I think Welbeck plays both in the double. And if Welbeck plays both in the double, he's probably a better pick than Calvert-Lewin. It's close, but I think I would probably err on the side of Welbeck now. Calvert-Lewin captain. If you want to captain anyone with a double, it's not the end of the world. Again, backing against City, who are probably favourites to win at home to Arsenal. And then if they do, we'll be chasing goal difference against Burnley. Is not something I particularly like the idea of. Would I triple captain Haaland this week or wait for 36? I think I would probably wait. I still think that the 36 double looks better. However, you might get a situation where Haaland scores once against Arsenal today or tomorrow and then is really going for it away at Burnley and could easily come away in this double with 3 attacking returns. Like, that's very possible, I think, for Haaland in this double. I still think if I had it, I would look to save it for 36. Would probably be the way that I would go. But I think it is quite close. People talking about Gomez of Brighton in the chat. So the issue with Gomez is I think we're expecting 1 start for Minter, 1 start for Mitoma, and 2 starts for Gomez. But that's not impossible that it's something slightly different. It's not impossible that Gomez doesn't start both in the double. I think he's a fine pick. I don't mind him at all. But I still think that those winger spots are slightly uncertain for Brighton. He's spoken quite positively about Minter, who's been playing on the left, but that's not actually his favoured position. So could Mitoma come in for a start and then Minter goes back to his favoured position on the right, or does just Minter drop out? I think Mitoma will start one of the 2 in the double, which means I don't think that both Minter and Gomez do. So I'm not sure I'd go Gomez. I mean, I've got Hinchelwood, who feels like a risk in himself, but he was very good against Burnley. He was pretty unlucky not to get a return. He had a big chance to score. He had a great opportunity for an assist, which Minter missed from about 5 yards out. So I don't mind Hinchelwood, but just predicting Brighton goals feels quite difficult now. It always has. And this will probably be the only last 2 games that I play Hinchelwood. He'll probably leave my team in 35 or 36. Either way, he'll be on my bench in 36 anyway. So if anything can be done from Hinchelwood this week, then great. Gargalon, thank you very much for joining as a base tier member. Welcome to the channel. Enjoy the perks of that. Start using some of the emojis in the chat. Would I free hit Enzo or Tav? I'd go Tav over Enzo, yeah. Yeah, Enzo or Scott, I would still just about go Enzo. I think we might see an improvement from Chelsea over these 2 games. At least I'm hopeful that we might as well. Should I get Garner, Dewsbury Hall, or Ndai? I wouldn't get any of them. They're away at... Oh, they've got Liverpool at home this week and they don't double. Yeah, I wouldn't be looking to buy an Everton player this week. On bench boost this week, Anderson or Gabby or Van Dijk out for a doubler. Have O'Reilly already. Free at 34, wildcard 35. But then it probably is Gabriel. If you're going to wildcard 35, then sell Gabriel and buy him back. Probably. Like, if it's long term, I would have sold Van Dijk, but just for this week, I would probably sell Gabriel. Would I start Bruno or Bijol? We did. You're on bench boost with 5 free transfers, Daniel asked. Considering between Thiago to DCL, Gabriel to Hill, you can't afford getting back to Gabriel in 35 just into transfers. I still wouldn't do Thiago to DCL. I definitely wouldn't do that. So it probably only leaves the Gabriel move. Alex Scott on free hit, I think, is a fine pick. I think people are putting Alex Scott on free hit because they look at what he did against Arsenal. I would be very surprised if he got an attack and return across the double. But he's a fine pick because his DEFCON is good. He could easily get an 8-pointer and get DEFCON in both games, in which case he's probably going to outscore Hinchelwood across the 2 games unless Hinchelwood scores. So I don't mind it. It does feel like quite a high floor but low ceiling pick because I don't expect much explosivity or goal threat from him. But if he was to score, it would be a huge haul. So I have no issue with people going for either Vifa or Scott on free hit this week. Gabriel and Welbeck to João Pedro and Van Heck on bench boost. You've got 3 Brighton. No, I would just do Gabriel to Cucurella and save yourself a transfer probably. I'm not sure I'd do Welbeck to João Pedro and Gabriel to Van Heck for a hit. I mean, if you're on bench boost and you're taking a hit to sell Gabriel, I almost certainly wouldn't do that. I said at the beginning of the stream, if you're looking to sell Gabriel, it's if you've got lots of transfers available. So if you're looking to do it for a hit, then I definitely wouldn't do it, yeah. Free hit 33 dilemmas. O'Reilly and Tavernier or Hill and Cherky. I'd go O'Reilly, Tavernier personally. O'Reilly and Enzo or Cucurella and Cherky. I would go O'Reilly. For me, I can't look away from O'Reilly being the best City pick apart from Haaland. I know people want to go with the double City mids, but I can't look away from how good O'Reilly is as a pick at the moment and not recommend you go from him. Because his goal threat is great. His goal threat is better than Cherky's. He is top 4 XGI over the last 6 for City players. I mean, well, let's have a look at the data. Plus, they've got good chance of a clean sheet in one of the 2 games. And he's just scored twice against Arsenal. He scored against Chelsea. I mean, I really would not be going against... O'Reilly this week. He would be on free here. I know people might want to go exciting with Cherky, Semenyo, but I think I'd rather take one of them out. I don't think Cherky's goal threat is high enough to take him out. So if we look at since game week, what game week are we now? 33. So let's go game week 25, right? So there is recency bias in this. But let's have a look. Why not Pascal Gross? Again, I like Gross. I don't think his goal threat is particularly high. I don't think he's the most exciting of picks, but we saw in game week 32 that he doesn't need that, right? All he needs is an assist, and then it looks like a pretty good return. And he is very involved for that Brighton team. So I have no issues with Pascal Gross. The issue is in my team is I'm not using a transfer on that, right? Am I? Like, people are saying, why have I gone Calvert-Lewin over Welbeck? Why have I gone Hinchelwood over Pascal Gross? Unfortunately, these were decisions I made last week, and I'm not going to use a transfer to switch from one to the other. Like, it just doesn't feel worth a transfer now. Chasing rank, should I go Cherky, then Semenyo? I mean, yes, if you want to go Cherky over Semenyo, but I still I think Cherky would be the one that I'd drop. Personally. So, like, since that time, Cherky is top 4 XG, right? Over the last 6 weeks. O'Reilly is 3rd for XG. He has more XGI than Cherky. And he's a defender. Like, O'Reilly's a better pick than Cherky. Unless they go and score 6 goals against Burnley. But even then, O'Reilly could get a clean sheet, an assist, and some bonus to go with it. Like, I just really struggle. I know Cherky's a very talented player, but I struggle to see that he is a better pick than O'Reilly. Now, you could go with Cherky and a James Hill and do something like that, but... yeah, I just would go with O'Reilly. If you want to take Cherky, for me, it's in place of Semenyo. It's not in place of O'Reilly. Yeah. I mean, he's just so, like, just watch the highlights of the past couple of games and look at the positions he's taking up. He's closer to the box than Cherky is. He has more goal-scoring threat than Cherky does. Giandre, let me have a look. 300k rank and chasing. So again, for people chasing on free hit this week, 40 points off your mini league leader on free hit. Do I go O'Reilly and Enzo or Senesi and Cherky? I would just go, because I think Enzo is a good differential in itself. Whereas I know you're like, oh, Cherky's a good differential, but Senesi isn't. Like, everyone's got Senesi or James Hill. So I would go O'Reilly, Enzo. And I would still captain Haaland. Palmer is about the one player I would consider captaining over Haaland this week because of the injuries to Man United. But I have almost not considered it, like, in the slightest. I'm just not backing against Haaland. I'm just not doing it. Take a -4 to transfer out Van Dijk for a City or Leeds defender. For a hit, I probably wouldn't do it for a hit, no. Probably wouldn't for a hit. No. As much as I wouldn't want Van Dijk this week, no. Why not Bijol over Pascal Strike? So I don't love Bijol's Defcon enough, and I don't like his Defcon, and I don't like his attacking threat enough to counteract the Defcon that someone like a Bijol has. Is basically it. So let me just walk you through why I might end up going Bijol now. Partly because I've been priced out of what I want to do. Although I'm not certain I'll end up with Anthony Gordon. But anyway. So if I go Bijol, for example, in game week 35, the plan is Senesi to Gabriel for Fulham at home. Bench Van Heck, play Darlow, James Hill versus Bijol. So I don't even need Bijol to start. And then this is what the team looks like. I was also wondering about doing Hinchelwood to Gordon. Maybe I don't need to do that. But I don't need Bijol in 35. Palace will have played the Thursday night before in the Conference League. They will then play the following Thursday in the Conference League. So that game is in between their two Conference League semi-finals. And I think we have seen over the past 48 hours what the Conference League means to Crystal Palace. Game week, so I technically don't need Bijol. Now, could I play him over James Hill? Absolutely. But I've already got Darlow. So I don't need to double up on the Leeds defence if I don't have to. Game week 36, 4 transfers, right? Bijol, again, doesn't get into my team. Game week 37 is the only week I might want him, but I can just play Van Heck away at Leeds. I mean, Bijol at home to Brighton versus Van Heck at home to Leeds. There's not much in it, really, is there? I don't think there's much in it. I mean, if we look at predicted points, Bijol is almost identical. And if we get there and, Leeds have got nothing to play for and Brighton are chasing Europe, and it might be, let's say Leeds get to a cup final. Like, I just don't know if that. And then in game week 38, they go away to West Ham. Sorry, thank you for correcting me. My top forward to buy was not Calvin Bassey. It was Calvert-Lewin. I typed the CAL and just hit enter, and it must have picked up a different player. There we go. Should be fixed for you. So that's basically it. I don't need Bijol past this week. In which case, am I really going to spend the extra money on him when I actually think he probably outscores Pascal Struijk by like a couple of points this week? Maybe they do just keep a clean sheet in game week 35 and I should just double up and... yeah. But I think, one Bournemouth defender, one Arsenal, one Leeds, one City is still quite a good defence in 35. Like, I don't need Bijol. And it just keeps the Gordon transfer open. The other option is I would just sell Tavernier instead. I would just do Tavernier to Gordon and keep Hinchelwood and bench Hinchelwood. And then do something else. Because the Bournemouth fixtures towards the end of the season... am I really going to play a Bournemouth defender in any of these? Like, a Bournemouth player, midfielder, sorry. Am I going to play Tav in any of these? Probably not. So, yeah. I'm pretty torn between the two. Bijol just feels slightly better this week, and he keeps open a very niche opportunity that I might want to do in 35, whereas Pascal Struijk just feels the slightly safer pick in isolation between the two. Do I not like Bogle? There's so many questions on Bogle, right? So let's have a look at him and let's talk about why I don't particularly think he's the most exciting pick. I think he's the most exciting pick, but I don't think... Bogle. So... I mean, 5 attacking returns this season, right? 4 assists, 1 goal. Which is what? 4 times 3 is 12, plus the 6 is 18 points from... 18 points from attacking returns this season. Pascal Struijk has 1 assist and has hit DEFCON 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times, right? So 12 times 2 for DEFCON plus the 3 for the assist is 27 points. It's really boring, and that is part of the issue with the pricing of DEFCON players this year. And I hope that they look at it next year and make DEFCON players more expensive. But Pascal Struijk has 27 points from attacking returns or DEFCON this year. Oh, thank you.
I had to walk on the stone.
Oh, thanks, H. Brought me a cup of coffee. So Bogle has... Yeah, I mean, he's got 18 points from attacking returns this season, which is great, but that's less than 1 a game. Over the double, he might be expected to get 1 return if he's very lucky, whereas Pascal Struijk has hit basically an attacking return point or a DEFCON point over the double. I know. I'm very lucky. Expect... I'm talking about assists. So, yeah, I mean, Bogle's got more assists than Struijk, but you've got to look at all the potential points for the defenders, right? And unfortunately, the DEFCON for Bijol and Pascal Struijk outweigh the attacking potential that Bogle has in my mind. Now, you might get lucky. There probably will be a Leeds defender that scores this week. But are you going to get the right one? And it could be a centre-back. So I just don't think there is enough historic attacking. Like, they were so explosive against United, but that has not always been the case for Leeds this season. On bench boost and 1 free transfer, would I do Bowen to DCL or Matoma to Enzo Gomez? I would almost certainly do neither of those things. I wouldn't do Bowen to DCL. I definitely wouldn't do that. If you don't think Matoma starts both, which he probably doesn't, and you want to go to Enzo, I think that's fine. The issue is you're using a transfer there to go from Matoma to Enzo or who's the other one? Gomez. And all 3 of those you won't want from 35. All 3 of those will be a sell. So it is an extra transfer. Like, I know the Chelsea fixtures from 35 are not bad, but you'll probably not want Enzo. So it is an extra transfer. It is an extra transfer. And I'm not sure it's particularly worthwhile. Four chips left. Should you play free hit or wildcard? It depends what your team looks like in 34. If you can free hit 33, wildcard 35, triple captain 36, bench boost 37, I probably would. If not, wildcard 33, free hit 34, bench boost 35, triple captain 36. It really depends on how your team looks in 34. On bench boost, and we've done... Would I double Leeds defense or double Bournemouth on free hit? I double Leeds. I think. I don't think there's that much in it, but... Or would I? Because the DEFCON is better, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bournemouth keep a clean sheet at home to Leeds. I probably would go double Leeds. That was my instinct, but it's close. Leeds have good fixtures ahead, yeah, but in the question it was Enzo and Gomez, and I don't think you're going to want either of those long term. Let me just move the mic away while I'm drinking my coffee. Would I sell Gabriel to Senesi on bench boost, 3 free transfers and chasing? Yeah, probably. Particularly the chasing part. Yeah. O'Reilly or Matheus Nunes on free hit. I would still go O'Reilly. 100% I'd go O'Reilly. O'Reilly is just the best City player to own outside of Haaland. Might even be better than Haaland. I saw Ross was considering captaining him. How much of you will be sad when we score against Brighton? I won't be, Tom. Just like I thought I'd be sad. I thought I'd be happy when City beat us last weekend, but I wasn't. I was fuming at the state of our performance in that game, which did almost put me off any Chelsea players this weekend. But I've got back to some sort of positivity. Yeah. The selling of Gabriel is a difficult one. If I had less transfers, I'm not sure I'd be doing it. But to be honest, if I didn't have the 5 transfers, or I had less transfers, I probably wouldn't have started with Gabriel in my wildcard to start with. But if I had 1 or 2 transfers this week, I'm not sure I'd be doing it, if I'm honest. I think I'd just be bench boosting with Gabriel, Bruno, and one of the others. I mean, again, as I said, if I had this team and 1 transfer, I probably would have started without Gabriel. But, yeah. Yeah, for me, it makes sense. I mean, I've got to make a transfer, right? And as soon as O'Reilly was confirmed, it's pretty obvious who the player is I have to sell. I know I lose value on him, but I'm going to sell Gabriel to a cheap Leeds defender. And then I'm going to sell Senesi, who's more expensive, to Gabriel, which effectively evens out the price loss that I'm going to have on him, if that makes sense. I'm basically swapping Gabriel to a Leeds defender to fund the price difference. Sell Gabriel, you won't get him back before 36, in which case probably not, because it sounds like you're pretty low on transfers. Thiago out for João Pedro. I wouldn't sell Thiago. I know it's not the easiest game, but he's just in too good form for me to really want to recommend selling Gabriel, selling Thiago, I think. On bench boost this week, after wildcard last week, would I take a -4 to transfer out Elliot Anderson, possible to Hinchwood or Enzo? So there are a few questions in the chat from different people around Elliot Anderson. So if you are unaware, very sadly and unfortunately, Elliot Anderson lost his mother over the past week. And he's been pretty open with it on social media about how hard it has been for him. And it meant that he didn't play in Europe on Thursday. We have absolutely no information about whether he's going to be available or whether he wants to play at home to Burnley. So if you've got him in your team, I probably would look to take him out. I'm just not sure it's worth that risk, but he might need, and completely acceptably, he might need some time, as he did on Thursday, to deal with that. If any of us were in that situation, I'm sure we would need it as well. So yes. Truffer better than Senesi. I would just go Senesi again. I don't think Truffer is explosive enough. His DEFCON isn't bad. So, for example, I think it's closer because I wouldn't be surprised if Truffer gets DEFCON in one game, and then all he needs is an attacking return to outscore Senesi. But I still think I would go Senesi. Haaland captain, hasn't returned, and has Arsenal. So this is the thing with Haaland. People saying he hasn't returned. He scored a hat-trick all of 2 weeks ago against Liverpool. And I think people are forgetting that. Haaland doesn't distinguish about what competition he's playing in when he decides to score. It's not like he says, oh, I'm in the FA Cup now, I can start scoring again. I don't think he has that mentality, especially because it was against Liverpool. If you want to gamble against Haaland captain, I've got no issue with it, right? But I wouldn't want to be gambling against Haaland. I definitely wouldn't be taking him out. I know I've seen some people consider that, but yeah, I wouldn't be taking him out. I only just got in. Yeah, I haven't actually decided on Strauch or Bijol. Yeah, if I'm honest, I'm probably leaning just to go Strauch for the safer option. But Bijol's DEFCON numbers just look great. He's so good for DEFCON, which I just don't get from Strauch. And I don't think they're playing against a team that means he'll definitely get it. Like, Wolves at home is not a game that you'd expect defenders to just lock in DEFCON, particularly. Now, he's been quite close, but he's only hit it in one of the last many games. He was much better on at the beginning point of the season. But then it's not been... Did they play a back four in those games, though? Is that what the change is? Like, if I go Leeds at home to Forest, is that the change? Have I just cracked the code? Leeds at home to Forest. No, they played a back five. Although they did take Bogle off. No, 96 minutes, so my point is flawed. I'm just wondering why there is such a massive drop-off in DEFCON for him. Like, he was so good at the beginning of the season. Or not so good, but better. And then recently it's been much, much worse. Is it because Bijol is in the team? Because, Bijol's DEFCON recently has been great. Maybe he's just taking it away from him, because this was the week where it stopped and then he came into the team. He got 12 here. 18, 16, 10. Like, it is better. So yeah, I haven't fully decided. Bijol is just... Strauch is just safer, though. You have 4 free transfers. Gabriel to Strauch, Matoma to Enzo on bench boost. Gabriel to Strauch or Matoma to Enzo on bench boost. I'd probably do Gabriel to Strauch. I think there's a bigger impact from that transfer. Watch Gabriel keep a clean sheet or score this week. But I just know that the last time they played, Gabriel did score and they absolutely were horrible at marking him. And I think City will have to be better at that. But no Diaz. I do think that City might struggle a little bit for defending set pieces. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal were to score one. It feels like Arsenal's biggest threat. Who are City's big aerial defenders now with no Diaz? Yeah, it just doesn't feel great. Yeah. Haaland or O'Reilly? Haaland and O'Reilly. Yeah, but it's only 2. Like, Arsenal have got about 6 players that can score from a corner. You're not putting Haaland on... you're not having Haaland defend Gabriel, are you? Like, Haaland's defensive awareness is not good enough to do that. And I'm not certain O'Reilly's is. Maybe, actually, to be fair, maybe it's Mark Gay. It probably is. People in the chat shouting at me that it's probably going to be Mark Gay that defends Gabriel, which is not too bad. And that's another reason why I think he'll want O'Reilly definitely to start. I mean, Pep said he's available, right? But his aerial presence in the box is going to be very useful compared to Khrushchev. Khrushchev is great for defensive recovery, but he's not the most physical. He's looked great against us because that's what they needed against us. People wondering about Darlow. Why is he so high? I just like the fact that he's cheap. I think it's a pretty good double for them, and they have decent fixtures long term. My camera has an overheating warning on it. That doesn't... I told you it was hot in here. Doesn't feel too bad, but it does have a overheating warning on it. Would I consider the same transfer if I had less transfers? If I had less transfers, 1 or 2, I probably wouldn't sell Gabriel. It's not a definite no, particularly if you're chasing rank. But, yeah, I think I probably wouldn't. A few super chats that I missed. Would I take a -4 O'Reilly to Bijol and Minter to Cherki? Selling O'Reilly as part of a hit is a definite no. If you just don't want Minter, I would just sell Minter to someone else. Minter's cheap enough that you can go Gomez, you can go Hinchelwood, you could go Scott. There were lots of options. I would just sell Minter and I wouldn't sell O'Reilly to Cherki for a hit. Blue asks, on wildcard 33, bench boost 35, Konza or Mitchell or Ballard? I wouldn't go... Mitchell's not great for it. Can you go... Have you got triple leads? Because actually they're quite good in 35. Probably Sunderland away at Wolves because they also help. You could also go West Ham. You could go Malik Chow. I actually think works quite well. Their end of the season run of fixtures is not bad. Yeah, but probably out of that list, probably Ballard. I wouldn't go Konza. I don't like the Villa defence enough. I know they've got Spurs that week, but and I know Konza scored at the end of last season. Thoughts on Okafor? I like him. If I had more conviction that he started both in the double, then I'd be more inclined to recommend him. I do think there's a bit of a doubt about whether he does start both in the double, which is probably enough to put me off. Is probably enough to put me off. But I don't mind it. He should start home to Wolves and he could do well in that game, and then he's a sub in the other one. Who would I go for if rank chasing on free hit? So my top differentials, we do have a few. So Okafor I don't mind as a differential. Sorry, that's top defenders. I want top differentials. So Welbeck I like. Cherki I like over Semenyo. Krupi Jr. interesting forward. Kukurea, Gomez, Okafor. One thing I probably would consider if I was chasing rank on free hit is just piling in to one team. So going like triple Leeds defence and then going Welbeck up front. I'd go with something like that probably. Rather than trying to split the players that you've got around teams in positions, just really back. Go triple Leeds defence. Go triple Chelsea attack with Palmer, João Pedro, Enzo. Then go, Welbeck and go something like that. Yeah. You could even go double City defence and hope they keep 2 clean sheets as well. Bench boost and 1 transfer. Bowen, I wouldn't sell Bowen. Jason, on bench boost this week after wildcard last week, would I take a -4 to transfer? We did. On free hit, should I play Welbeck and Okafor or DCL and Strauch? Well, I probably would go DCL and Strauch. Probably. But you could go Welbeck, Strauch. Varon, thank you very much. We are... we are an hour to go until the deadline, so we are going to put it in subscriber-only mode. You literally will have had to subscribe for 1 second in order to be able to start using the chat again. So if you're not subscribed, please do. And I don't think I've even plugged likes on this stream once. So in order to say thank you for not spamming will you like the stream to me, if you could just like it, hopefully we could hit 1,000. We're quite a long way off as I haven't plugged it, but I will keep not plugging it if we could just at this moment, and yeah, subscribe if you are new as well. Hello, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My deadline clock is about a minute ahead. Yes, so if you are new to the stream, the deadline timer is normally a minute ahead on purpose because I don't want people to miss the deadline. So I want people, because you often get people who get to the end of the stream and then the timer ends, and because there's a 20-second stream delay, it's then too late to make their changes. Whereas what happens here is the stream countdown ends a minute before, with the stream delay 45 seconds before the deadline. So it still gives you a tiny bit of time to go and check your team. It is all done to hopefully help people out. And if it helps one person over the course of the season not miss the deadline, then yeah. How sure are you that Haaland starts against Burnley? If City beat Arsenal, they will want to score as many goals against Burnley as possible because they're chasing goal difference. Yeah, why Tavernier? I agree. I'm a little bit interested about why Tavernier ended up being such a default pick when he's not fully on pens. His minutes are good, and he's probably the best Bournemouth attacker if you're not going for a striker. But yeah, that's probably the reason that he's in. And he does have some penalty share. If you've got someone ask if you've got Rodon, I think you have to sell him unless you're not playing bench boost. Hello from Helsinki, Finland. Good luck this weekend. Good luck to you as well. Don't forget to activate your chips. Yes, this is a first reminder. If you're playing your bench boost, you're playing your triple captain, you're playing your wildcard, or you're playing your free hit, please go right now and make sure that that chip is active. Make sure you go and that chip is active. Yeah. Let me see anything going on. Yeah, big derby. Is Brentford Fulham a derby? I think so. Well, Brentford just tweeted derby day, so it must be. Some big games of football this weekend. Actually, some huge games of football this weekend. Outside of the City game, which match are people most interested by the result of? I mean, Newcastle Bournemouth, I think, is a really interesting game. Spurs Brighton, of course, is huge. Chelsea United also feels huge. Everton Liverpool tomorrow is almost being forgotten because it's a double game week, that we're not even looking at that as a fixture, but that is a huge game as well with the way that their two teams are playing at the moment. Forest Burnley also huge. City Arsenal, massive game. Some huge games of football this weekend. Chelsea United easy. Yeah, I'm hoping we win that, and we need to bounce back at some point. And if we lose that, then we are in trouble. You reckon Haaland's going to get 5 goals? I wouldn't be. I would be surprised if he got 5, but yeah, you're in the Southern Hemisphere. It's 7:30 p.m. to 5 a.m., but we're up for it. I don't think that's a Northern Southern Hemisphere thing. I think that's a time zone thing. I think. Except O'Reilly and Hill, which two of Senesi, Leeds, Brighton would I have on free hit? O'Reilly, Hill, probably double Leeds. Probably Darlow, Strauch or Bijol. Is it worth using bench boost if all you have are single game week players? If they're good if you've got a bench that looks like Thiago, Bruno, Gabriel, and a decent... It depends. If it looks better in another week, then yeah, save it. If not, then yeah, just get it played. Am I set on 4-3-3? Yeah, but I'm playing my bench boost, so it doesn't particularly matter for me. Replacement for Ekitike, you've got Haaland and Welbeck. Probably João Pedro. You were right about Newcastle. It's possible that Howe drops Gordon due to his comments this week. You still think we win, though it's why you're hesitating buying a second Bournemouth defender. Yeah, but I think the thing with the Bournemouth defenders is you take DEFCON against Newcastle and you hope they keep a clean sheet against Leeds. That's probably what we're waiting for. That's probably what we're hopeful for. Like, I don't think people are really buying Senesi and Hill hoping for a clean sheet away at Newcastle. I don't think. Like, you're hoping for DEFCON in that game, and then you're hoping for a clean sheet against Leeds. Does Gordon start? Yes, probably. Yeah, probably does. If Bruno Fernandes in your free hit team, can he outscore Enzo? I mean, I know that Bruno is probably one of the best single game week options this week, but I just wouldn't have him on free hit. I would always take the chance of Bruno blanking and you going with someone with a double. I wouldn't have Bruno on a free hit personally. Mitoma to Gomez, Okafor, Hinchelwood, or Suggest. I don't mind Enzo. I don't mind Hinchelwood. I probably wouldn't go Okafor. I probably wouldn't go Gomez. It would be Enzo or Hinchelwood, I think, or Gross. We did all of those. Yeah, chasing rank on free hit. I just got to go a little bit different. Has anyone got an actual differential on their free hit? Now, that might be that you're playing a back five or something. Have you got something that you truly think is different that no one else is doing on free hit this week? And I'll talk about some of them if you'd like. So I wouldn't go for Fana. Chalobah might be back. I'm just not sure I'd go there. Any news on Lacroix? Nothing really from what I've seen. You're going 5-3-2. Don't mind it. Pick 2 or 3. Enzo, Gross, Tavernier. I probably would drop Gross personally. So Creepy Jr. I don't mind. Creepy. I think he probably ends up playing both in the double because of Bournemouth chasing Europe, and he looks very good at the moment. Kukurea, probably my top defender differential to own this week, so I like that. Esteval, if we knew the minutes, Tom, I agree, but I don't think it's impossible that it's Andre Santos, Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, Neto, João Pedro for at least one of the games. O'Reilly captain. Yeah, I think O'Reilly captain is an interesting differential. I'm not completely against it. You have Caicedo. Again, his DEFCON numbers have not looked quite as good. I don't necessarily know why you'd go Caicedo over an Alex Scott or a Vifa, for example. But I don't mind it. His goal threat also doesn't look as good recently. You're going with a Forest defender. I don't mind that. It's a big game for them and Burnley have struggled to score. But again, like if you're comparing Williams to Senesi or Hill, if Senesi or Hill keep DEFCON in both games, they match Williams before he gets an attack in return if he keeps a clean sheet. Avifa, don't mind. Yeah, Neto in midfield should start both, although his attacking output's not been fantastic. Triple City attack going against O'Reilly is a bit of a risk, but I do like the 3 attackers. Danny Welbeck over João Pedro. Again, Welbeck himself is not a differential, but no, João Pedro definitely is. Thinking going Senesi, Hill, Truffer. So that's what I mean. Like an example of going different would be piling in to a certain team, like a Bournemouth defender. Ward-Prowse, I think, is not the worst if they had a good game in the double. Forest away, City at home does not look good for them. Ampadu for the DEFCON, yep. But I do think that someone like a Vifa or a Scott, I mean, maybe recency bias on them, but I do feel like they have, maybe not Scott, but the attacking threat does feel slightly better. I'm quite enjoying this. Yeah, any differentials, keep firing them in. This is a good way to discuss players rather than it just being the same ones. Wilson or Aronson, I probably wouldn't go either. If you've got both, I'd probably play the doubler, but I'm not sure I'd want either this week. Truffer versus Bijol. I'd probably go Bijol. Giandre, should I consider a 3-5-2 with Palmer, Semenyo, Tav, Cherky, Enzo, Haaland, João Pedro? No O'Reilly. So what? I mean, you're taking Enzo. Like, I drop Cherky, go 3-4-3 and go O'Reilly personally. Like, I don't think Cherky and another defender is better than O'Reilly, like Calvert-Lewin or Welbeck, personally. Fleming, Anthony. Yeah, again, I just struggle with Burnley. I wouldn't be surprised if Burnley don't score a goal and concede 4 over the double. That's my issue with them. Gibbs White, again, backing a single game week player is not the worst idea. Forest at home to Burnley is probably the best one to do it, but I would always still back a doubler. No Chelsea as the form is poor. Yep, I think there's going to be goals in Chelsea United, though. Mitoma, I'm just not certain he starts both in the double, but if he does, he could be a really good differential, but I don't think he starts both. Gomez, I think Gomez probably does. He might get subbed early in both of them, with Mitoma and Minter playing 90 and then 30 in both. But I don't mind Gomez. His DEFCON's all right. His attacking threat looks pretty good. Senesi or Truffer, I would still always go for the centre-backs in pretty much all of these. Ampadu, don't mind. Thiago, don't mind if you want a single game week player. I probably wouldn't own him on free hit, but yeah. Yeah. So lots of questions from people in the chat on Hill or Senesi. I just think Hill is equally as good, if not better. Senesi's slightly better for bonus, but Hill's DEFCON is slightly better. I think on free hit, I would go Senesi. But if you're not on free hit, I'd go Hill just because of the money. There's no reason to pick Senesi over Hill unless you don't need the money. And if you're not on free hit, you might need the money at some point. Semenyo captain. So the issue with captain on someone like a Semenyo is what are you backing there? You're backing City to do well and it not be Haaland, which is a fine gamble, but not one I particularly would want to take. We thought Tavernier got gross already. Can't change him to save up transfers. If you're buying one of V for Tavernier, I'd probably go Tavernier. Would I do a full bench boost team by transferring Bruno? Not if you don't have the wild card, because you'll want Bruno for the final few weeks of the season. They've got some big games in there. I think you'll want Bruno for the final 4 weeks. So I wouldn't sell Bruno. Can I show a free hit team? So the free hit team and wildcard teams we discussed in a lot of detail in yesterday's complete guide video. I would just go and check that out because it's got it in more detail than I'll be able to cover now. If there's specific questions about players that you'd like discussed, more than happy to do that. It would be triple City. It would be if I was on free hit, it would be Haaland, Semenyo, O'Reilly. It would be Enzo, Palmer, João Pedro. So that's 6. It would be Senesi, Hill, Darlow, Bijol, which is 10. Tavernier probably. Something like that. Triple City, triple Chelsea, double Brighton defence, double Leeds defence, and one other attacker of your choice of Brighton, Leeds, or Bournemouth. Yeah, something like that. Why is Cucurella not being mentioned much? I just think people don't trust the Chelsea defence. I think that purely is it, that people are looking at the Chelsea defence and thinking that they look shaky at the moment. And plus none of them get DEFCON. But I think Cucurella is worth a consideration as a differential. Sorry, double Bournemouth defence, double Leeds defence, triple Chelsea attack, triple City. Oh, yeah, sorry, it can't be that. That would be a back 4. I would consider a back 4, but I would probably go 1 Bournemouth defender, double Leeds defence. So 1 or 2 of them. 3 defenders from Bournemouth and Leeds combined. O'Reilly. Double City attack, triple Chelsea attack, and 2 other attackers of your choice. or an extra defender if you want to play a back four. Would I keep Matoma? Probably. Probably, unless you've got loads of transfers. Who would I bench? So the bench would then be probably triple Brighton because I don't have them on the free hit. Just pick lots of doublers who you can have on your bench. That's the issue with free hit this week, right? Is you're going to pick players on your bench who've got doubles who are going to score points, and then you're going to wish you started them. But it's just part of the game. Triple captain, is it a good move this week? Yeah, if you're not playing another chip, I don't mind it. I still think that I would triple captain Haaland in 36 over 33 if you're not playing another chip. I do think Enzo starts. I would have Enzo on free hit. Yeah, my free hit draft that I updated after all the press conferences yesterday does have Enzo Fernandez in it. Start Tavernier, Senesi, or Reefer. It's quite close because I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if Senesi outscores Tavernier, but I think I would go Tavernier. If team value is low, would I sell Gabriel for 0.4 loss, 5 frees? Probably. We're at the point of the season where keeping team value in players is slightly less important, so I probably still would, yeah. Van Heck, Hill, DCL on free hit, pick 2. I dropped Van Heck. As much as I like the Brighton fixtures, I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet in either team. In either match, sorry. Against either team is what I meant. Again, is what I meant. I mean, the Fulham game is the early kickoff, so we're not expecting any team news of any sort. I'm quite glad O'Reilly's okay. The part of the reason I'm glad O'Reilly's okay is if I was to sell him, it gives a huge advantage to wildcard 35ers because either we just go the end of the season without O'Reilly, because if I did O'Reilly to Mark Gay, am I ever going to want to do the switch back? Maybe not, but he is definitely the best defender for the second double. So either I'm using another transfer to do Gabriel and O'Reilly back in, which is just not worthwhile. So at least it means I go into 35 with 5 frees up against the wildcarders. And actually, wildcard 36 is better than wildcard 35, potentially. It's not. Wildcard 36 is a better week to make changes to a 32 wildcard than 35, if that makes sense. So if we look at the plan FPL again, what I mean is in game week 35, I don't like your 30. Get your words out, Harry. Wildcard 35 is better than wildcard 32 from 36 onwards. In 35, there's not actually much difference. Like if you look at this team in 35, like you would do well to pick a much different team on free hit. Triple, like you'd maybe pick another Arsenal defender. You maybe not go double Chelsea on it, but it's pretty close. And in 36 is then the week where I'll have like lots of transfers to buy Palace and Arsenal. So interestingly, I was listening to Planet FPL this week. So first thing is, I have no idea why they haven't announced the double in 36 yet. Because they could be waiting until after the FA Cup game, which is game week 34. But that only gives fans 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks notice. Now, maybe they are just waiting until after 34 to decide. Maybe they are. But it feels strange that they're doing that. But the longer it goes on, the more it feels like they are going to move other games around. So I was listening to Planet FPL James this week, as I always do, and he was discussing the possibility that they move Bournemouth City out of 37 into 36, which would give a double for Bournemouth in 36, not Palace. And then Palace would then double in 37. So it would give us 3 teams doubling instead of 2. No, it wouldn't. It would give us Bournemouth Palace doubling, not City doubling. Which is possible. And the longer they go on and wait, it feels like they are waiting for the FA Cup results, which means they are more inclined to maybe move something depending on how those results go. Basically. So there is a possibility. So let me just show you what that would look like. It's a very small possibility, but it is a possibility. So it would look like this. So this would go into 37, and Bournemouth City would come forward from 37 into 36. So it would give Bournemouth and City, it does give Bournemouth City a double in 36, and then Palace a double in 37. So suddenly people would be wildcarding in triple Bournemouth in 35, which is what wildcard 32 has already got. Wildcarding in triple City, which people on wildcard 32 have already got. And then people, do we really want like triple Palace for Brentford away, City away? Potentially not. They say it's only about a 10% chance, but it's worth considering now. I mean, it doesn't really impact anything, but there's a chance that Bournemouth could double. I think it means if you're on wildcard 33, if you're wildcard this week, I would have some Bournemouth. I would have some Bournemouth in case this happens. If you're on wildcard. People looking for a free hit. I mean, let's build one in here, right? Because there's lots of people asking. Darlow would stay. Let's go back. So Darlow in goal. I would have probably Senesi over Bijol. Bruno drops out for Tav. Hinchelwood goes for Enzo. Yeah, I mean, it's something like this if I was on free hit. I'd go with something like this on free hit, I think. You've pretty much locked in your team. Good luck. 21 locking in their teams already. Good luck to you. We're not expecting much news between now and the deadline. I would, if I was on free hit, I think this would be the team I'd free hit. Bijol over Strauch on free hit just because his DEFCON is better and he looks nailed for this double. So, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't captain Tavernier, of course, but I think this would be a free hit. White Enzo over Groves. It's pretty close. Like this, if you want to go safe, this is pretty safe. It's probably then just not Enzo and you go Groves. If you want to play it safe, it's probably this. This spot here, the Groves spot and the Calvert-Lewin spot are probably the two most up for grabs. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that is what I would go with. But you picked Matoma over Groves. Would I take a -4 to swap them? Probably not a hit, no. Hard to imagine O'Reilly playing both games. I understand the logic, but I don't agree with it. I just think, so there was that photo at the beginning of the week on Monday, which we think was O'Reilly in the background in a blurred picture training and doing stretching, which if that's correct, that means he was fine on Monday, which means he's trained all week, in which case he plays Arsenal and Burnley. If he's fully fit, then he's going to be fine. Like, I know he went off with a hamstring knock, but obviously it wasn't anything because he looks like he's trained all week. So I think O'Reilly is more likely to play both in the double than not by quite a way. Of course, there's a risk. Game week 34 free hit we will do after the deadline, after the weekend of football. We need to see minutes on players like the United midfielders. Does Brian and Burmo come back in? For example, this weekend, if Ahmad or Sesko got injured, for example, or someone else, then Burmo would be a lock on free hit. Cunha would be a lock. At Liverpool, let's say Gakpo got injured, then people would suddenly go with Rio on free hit, for example. Salah would become more popular because the minutes would be easier to predict. So there are certain things that could swing free hit in different directions. So we'll discuss that a lot next week because I'm playing the free hit in 34. So we'll discuss that a lot. What do I think about captaining Calvert-Lewin? It's probably not for me because I just think he's too wasteful and it will frustrate you if you captain him, personally. We are only 180 likes away from 1,000. So there are 5,000 of you in the stream that haven't liked it. So if you could, that would be much, much greatly appreciated. Captain Cherky, probably not for me. I don't think his goal threat is high enough. Which defender am I going with? What time is it? I probably should make that decision. City, 3 clean sheets in a row. Would it be crazy to captain O'Reilly based on these stats? No. I actually think, and maybe I should update my ranking, I think I'd rather captain O'Reilly than Semenyo. I know people don't think he starts both in the double, but I think there's more. The issue with captaining Semenyo is you're expecting City to score goals and it not be Haaland, right? Which doesn't feel like a particularly sensible guess or bet to take. Whereas O'Reilly, let's say they do keep 2 clean sheets in the double and he's basically on a 12-pointer before anything else. Haaland has got to score 2 goals across the double to match that, or a goal and an assist. So if you were going to back against Haaland, but you want a City player, probably is better on O'Reilly. So that is what a free hit team would roughly look like for anyone looking to play it. Bijol versus Strauch. What were the quotes? Let me just check the quotes on Rodon. Rodon update. Chelsea haven't scored any goals in 3 matches. You're not right. You're not wrong. Rodon injury leads. What exactly did he say? Didn't rule out. He said realistically he expects Stack and Rodon to be out until May, but that was last week. But then he said this. The first step is more or less that they would be back in team training. Then, if they have a bit of team training, they're also available for the games. As it stands today, which was on Thursday, no one is back in team training yet, but we have 2 more days. Sometimes there could be a negative surprise, sometimes a positive surprise. That's just what happens. We assess them day by day. I mean, what does that mean? Like, is it just safer for me to go Strauch? But I just don't love his DEFCON. I just don't love his DEFCON. There was a Leeds account which has been good on Team News before. That where is it? Here. So FPL Rhinos tweeted that Fark said there was a positive surprise regarding fitness. Pure guesswork, of course, but Rodon is an absolute warrior. So may well be him. Make Strauch even better as Rodon. If Rodon starts Bournemouth, then one of Bijol, Justin and Bogle won't play. And that account then retweeted it and said, or DJ. Which implies that he thinks it's Daniel James who's coming back. Yeah. So, yeah, deadline is half an hour away. So I think Bijol will be fine. The question is it worth the risk? But also, Leeds fans don't think that he'll come out anyway. But he has been that risk of minutes. Like, he does have it. But I do like Bijol over Strauch. If I knew they were both nailed, then I would go Bijol. He just hasn't had a very good... I mean, he did have quite a good run of games here. I want to go... So my head is at... I want to go Bijol, but I wonder if Pascal Struijk is just safer. You did triple captain on Palmer. Perfect against, I think, the Man United defenders. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I wouldn't be triple captaining Palmer personally. I'd be saving it for Haaland in 36, but it's not the worst. Keep Matoma or buy Enzo. If you've got lots of transfers, that's fine. Why Bijol instead of Bogle is mainly because of the DEFCON and the lack of attacking threat that Bogle has actually capitalised on this season. A quick question, how do I manage to get 13 players with bench boost, that wildcard or free hit? Did I have 5 transfers for this? I wildcarded last week. So I played my wildcard in 32. One of the big strategies in FPL is always wildcard the week before your bench boost. So I wildcarded 32. I lost 6 points, so I need to have quite a big bench boost. I need a Hinshelwood goal, effectively, across the double to make the bench boost worth it. Yeah, congratulations to anyone who supports Coventry back in the Premier League. It's weird because people say, oh, they're back in the Premier League. But to me, that's Coventry coming into the Premier League for the first time in my lifetime, effectively. I'm not so young that it technically isn't because I was just really young. But in my footballing supporting life, that is the first time in my life that Coventry will be back in the Prem. So excited for it. And as a Chelsea fan, to see Lampard getting them promoted is always nice. It's always nice. Cherki or O'Reilly, I would go O'Reilly. Pick one, DCL, Welbeck or Krupi. Probably Welbeck, I think now. Please, what will your strategy be if you still have all the chips for the second half of the season, considering the blanks next week? So if your team looks good for next week, I would free hit 33, wildcard 35, triple captain 36, bench boost 37. If your team looks bad for game week 34, then I would wildcard 33, free hit 34, bench boost 35, triple captain 36. What about Okafor for the double? It's just not guaranteed to start both, is the concern. Do I think O'Reilly as captain could be an idea? I think it's a good differential. If you want another City player, he's probably the one I would go with. Last fan standing we will do. I haven't actually picked my last fan standing as of yet. I am through to the next round. I'm in the last... I don't even know how many. I don't know who I'm going to pick this week. I picked West Ham last week and I picked Fulham. Leeds, potentially. Leeds at home to Wolves. I feel like Leeds will win that game. Personally. DCL or João Pedro to replace Bowen on bench boost. DCL or João Pedro to replace Bowen. Probably João Pedro. Yeah. Would I sell Gabriel with only 2 frees, same team as you? If you're... Sorry, I haven't unhidden my screen. There we go. Best Leeds mid. It probably is Okafor. I wouldn't go Aronson. Ampadu is fine for DEFCON. Harry, if you go triple Chelsea on your free hit and it doesn't work, I'm blaming you. Don't go triple Chelsea then. Go Pascal Gross or do something boring instead. I don't want to be blamed. Don't blame me. Asking for a while to update the rank on the be back soon screen. That was my whiteboard. I haven't shown that on stream for a while. Yeah, I'm going to sell Gabriel. I just have to... What happens if I buy Bijol and Rodon's back and... He said realistically they're not going to be back until May, which would be quite something to have them back now. You've got one free transfer should you sell Gabriel. I probably wouldn't with one free. It's quite team dependent though. Like if you've already got like any Palace or something in place or you're chasing rank, then maybe. But I know Leeds fans all think that Bijol keeps his place when Rodon's back, but it's hard to envisage that when Justin has been so, like, his minutes. You're expecting James Justin. I mean, he didn't start the season, to be fair. But since game week 19, James Justin has started, I think, every single game. Oh, wait. One sec. Holly has got all her chips left. Oh, okay. She's got 2 more. Okay. One sec. Sell Gabriel and sell Szoboszlai for 2 players with a double. Right. So I just find it difficult to think that James Justin is definitely going to come out. I know Leeds fans seem to think it's the case. But then if he does come out of centre-back, he goes back to full-back. And then one of Goodmanson or Bogle come out. So it's just difficult to know who it is going to be when Rodon comes back, that comes out. If I had my people saying just go Strauch, it's safer. Just the money is quite useful, but Strauch is just nailed. As a Leeds fans, Justin doesn't start. You think Bijol will keep his place? Interesting. I know at the beginning, as a Leeds fan, he does keep his place. Any Leeds fans in the chat, can you just let me know what you think about Bijol's minutes long term? Do I think Pedro Neto starts both? Probably, yeah. If no bench boost... Oh, well, I've set my bench up as if I was doing the correct bench boost. Justin's been excellent, though won't replace left-footed left-back. Bogle's better. There was a slight risk he preferred over Bijol, but I'm combining all of the names now. But you're on Bijol. Bijol. I'm combining Bijol with Bogle, and now I don't know whose name is who. People saying Bijol is better than Rodon. Rodon might not come straight back in. Which position in the back three does Rodon normally play? Does he not play the central of the three? Rodon plays that, doesn't he? Or would they put Rodon over to the side? Yeah, I know Strauch is 100% nailed, but Rodon has been playing the middle of the back three. Check latest games. Right. When has Rodon against West Ham in the Cup? Who played that? Rodon played on the right, Biol in the middle. But Goodmanson was injured in that game. When was the last time they've all been available? Like, when was the last time all of their defenders were actually available? Because it feels like it's been quite a long time. I'm trying to find games where they've all played. Like here, Biol didn't start. And he was on the bench and he came on at half time for Goodmanson. What in game was that? Here? They played a back four and there was no... This is what I mean. But I do want to go Biol. They're not all available now, so he'll play. Yeah, but if Rodon comes back, for example, for the second game in the double... Looks like Man City was the last time they were all available together. They lost 1-0. And Biol didn't start. This is what I mean. Biol didn't even get on the pitch. Oh no, Biol wasn't in... Oh yeah, he was. He came on in the 87th minute. This is what I mean. Rodon right centre-back. Rodon will place Justin. My camera is about to go off. My camera has just died. Right. Can you still hear me? Well, you can. We're just going to let my camera cool down for a moment. Strauch usually reliable, always left centre-back, but he's less good for DEFCON there. Yeah, cool. We'll just leave my camera off for a second. We'll just leave that off for a second because it has overheated. With 15 minutes to go, faceless stream, I know. I should just put like a picture of me. I should just put... Oh, that's not going to work, is it? I was just going to... Anyway. We'll just let it cool down for a minute. Yeah, put some ice on it. It is getting quite hot. It is hot in here, that's why. Bogle is the better option. Anyone playing last? I just don't need the defender pass this week. It doesn't sound like Rodon's going to be back. Bijol's DEFCON is just so much better. I think I'm convincing myself to take a punt on Bijol. Because at the end of the day, the first game is the better one. If for whatever reason he missed Bournemouth away, it's not ideal, but yeah. Oh, you can't even see my screen. What an interesting stream this is turning out to be. Won't one of them score? I mean, yeah. It's pretty close between the two in terms of goal threat. You're a Leeds fan and you're going Bijol. Chelsea defender for a Gabriel for a 1 week punt. Cucurella, if I was taking a Chelsea defender. Almost certainly. You could go Gusto. You don't think Rodon will return? Probably not. Should you triple captain Haaland? I would save triple captain for 36. How cool. Oh, it still feels quite warm. Let's let it cool down a minute. It's like a sauna in here. I appreciate that you are just putting up with this stream. Could I... people tuning in now are going to wonder what on earth's going on. My camera overheated. Let me see if I can turn it back on. Ooh, we're back. Let's see how long it lasts for. Oh no. DCL has 2 goals since game week 19. I'd go Welbeck on free hit over DCL now, yeah. Semenyo or Cherki, I probably would go Semenyo. I think his goal threat outweighs Cherki's assist threat. Gabriel to a Leeds defender is the plan, yes. You love me without the camera as well. Ah, thanks. Your mum has all her chips. She's using transfers this week to maximize the double game weeks. Free hit next week, wildcard the following week, and then bench boost. Very nice. Holly looks like she is doing the same. She has used 5 transfers this week to set up a team with 9 bench boosters. And then we'll free hit next week, wildcard 35, triple captain 36, bench boost 37, I think. Thoughts on Scott versus Tavernier? Scott in better form. I to be honest, I don't think there's much between them. I think I probably would default to Tavernier, but I don't think there's much between them. What about Fernandez points with United injuries? There's going to have to be goals in that game. United are going to have to go into the Chelsea game needing to score goals with the way that their defenders are out. So in which case, I think it's more positive for Bruno than anything. Unless he plays Bruno deeper because there's no Ugarte, but that is also a possibility. I don't need the Leeds defender in 35 because I'll have Gabriel at home to Fulham, I'll have O'Reilly away at Everton, and I will have Hill at home to Palace. So no, I don't actually need the defender after this week, which is why I think I'm going to go Bijol, because I actually don't need the defender after this week. I potentially would play them in 37 at home to Brighton, but it's really not the end of the world. I can play Van Heck away at Leeds. Or I might have made a defender transfer, for example. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to go Bijol, save the money. Is there a doubt in Welbeck's minutes? Yes, but there's a slight doubt on Calvert-Lewin's minutes as well. Is there a chance Chalobah plays? Don't think the first one in the double. He might be back for Brighton, but I doubt he plays United. It's not impossible. Gosh, my dad hasn't activated his bench boost. Gosh. Is Captain Senesi crazy? Yes, I would say so. Given how Leeds played against United, I wouldn't. Keep Wilson or Gabriel this week. I'd rather Wilson than Gabriel. Captain Palmer, if you're chasing, Palmer would be my number 1 option to go against Haaland with. Yep. How about Senesi versus Hill versus Truffer? You need Till too. I would just go boring with the 2 centre-backs and go with the DEFCON options personally. Is Captain O'Reilly crazy? I don't mind it. He's probably my second favourite City player to captain, I think. Yeah, I need to sell Gabriel. It's 10 minutes to go until the deadline. I just wanted to check if anything was going on Twitter. Super chats, yes, let me check. Okafor is a fine punt, just feels slightly risky. DCL Welbeck for the next 3, you're on wildcard. Welbeck. The sports box. Why would I captain Palmer if you were close to 100k? If you're close to your rank, I wouldn't take the risk, no. Yeah. if you're close to your rank, I wouldn't take the risk. Who should I buy? João Pedro or Calvert-Lewin? And I go João Pedro. Would I bench boost Dubravka, Gabriel, Bruno, Virgil van Dijk, or free hit? No wildcard left. 10 starters for game week 34. Also, if you've got 10 players playing in 34, then I would free hit, because that doesn't sound like it means you've only got 6 doublers. How likely is O'Reilly to start? Do you want to cap him over Haaland? I mean, he's almost certain to start Arsenal. There is a slight risk with him away at Burnley, but I think he probably starts both. I think if City don't lose to Arsenal, he'll start both. Minter, Gross, or Truffer in the starting 11? Gross, probably. Just go Strauch. Right, I actually need to make my transfer. I'm taking a gamble on Biol. I just think the money might be useful at some point. Because there is 0.4 between them now, which feels significant enough. Like, if one was 4.5 and one was 4 million, like, you probably would just all go Biol, I think. I think the money, it doesn't look like it takes an impact now, and on free hit, it maybe doesn't, but towards the end of the season, it might be useful. It might not if I look to sell Palmer, but it might give me the ability to say keep him. So Gabriel to Jakob Biol is the confirmed transfer that we're looking to make. 13 players doubling, 2 free transfers. Would I sell Gabriel? Probably not, unless you're needing to chase and be really aggressive. Gabriel to Biol. Gabriel. Gomez, Gross, or Minter? Gross. Take a hit for O'Reilly depending on who you're selling. Gabriel to Biol. I had to make a transfer. Right, we have 7 minutes to go to the deadline. This is your second warning. Every single one of you watching, all 7,874 of you watching, please go and look at your team. If you are looking to play a chip, make sure it is activated now. If you're on free hit and you're deliberating between player A or player B, that is fine. You can do that until the deadline. Make sure every single one of you has got your chip activated. There will be, as I say, every time there is a week people are playing chips, there will be someone on Twitter who tweets saying, I forgot to activate this. I took a minus 60 point hit, or I forgot to activate my bench boost. Is there anything we can do about it? The answer, unfortunately, for that is no. There's nothing you can do if you don't activate your chip before deadline. So please make sure that that is you that has your chip active, and it is not going to be you that is complaining on Twitter that you forgot to do it. Please go and literally just remember to do your bench boost. If I can help one person, who, like I helped one yesterday when I tweeted it, please don't be the person in your mini league who forgets to activate their bench boost. My bench boost is active there. I've got Verbruggen, Hinchelwood, Van Heck, and Bruno. Imagine the second games for doubles all get cancelled after the deadline. Could you imagine? Aren't I worried about Palmer's minutes? No, not really. He looks more back to fitness now, and the league is very important. Van Heck or a second Bournemouth defender? I'd rather a second Bournemouth defender, particularly because their DEFCON is better. Who do I play instead of Anderson, Van Dijk, or Gordon? I'd want to start Gordon this week. I think it's an all right fixture for him. Sell Gabriel to make 14 doublers with 3 free transfers. Yes, I probably would. Why Biol over Strauch? I just thought the saving was better, the DEFCON is better, and I don't need the defender past 33. I literally need him for 2 games. So I've gone with the player I think is more likely to get a bigger haul in a specific week. Van Dijk to O'Reilly for a hit. Yes, I probably would. You got a midfield spot to fill, 8.7 million budget. You can't decide. Gross, Semenyo, Cherky, Enzo, probably those, or Tavernier. Why Hinchelwood over Gomez? It's just who I wildcarded last week. I went with Hinchelwood because Gomez was on 9 yellow, so I couldn't buy Gomez. I think it's pretty close between the two of them now, though. Why Hinchelwood? We did on free hit. Who should I start? Hill and Senesi or Enzo for one of them? On free hit, would I start Hill and Senesi or Enzo for one of them? I'd probably play Enzo over one of them, probably Hill. Welbeck or DCL, I probably would go Welbeck on free hit. Is your free hit the same now since yesterday? Yes, it is. There's nothing changed since the complete guide video yesterday. Bogle or Strauch, I'd go Strauch. Trying to enter the 200k, should I captain Calvert-Lewin or keep Haaland or go for Palmer? If you're close enough, like if you're outside the top 500k and you need to halve your rank, then maybe you go differential. But the issue with going differential is there is a risk that you get it wrong, right? It's not, oh, I go differential and I'm going to get it right. If you get it wrong, then where does that leave you? Where does that leave you? Triple captain 33 or 36. I prefer 36. Tavernier or Scott, Hinchelwood or Weaver. Probably Tavernier and Hinchelwood. Play Gabriel or Mukiele. Who does Mukiele? Probably Gabriel. Kieran, let me take a look. Please help out. Gay or O'Reilly for free hit only? I'd go O'Reilly. Yeah. If I wasn't going O'Reilly, I'd be going triple city attack. Cherky captain worth a shot, Kieran. Not for me. I don't think his output is significant enough to gamble against the other City players, personally. Would I captain Palmer if chasing 80 points in your mini league? If you're happy with the risk of it going badly, I still, at 80 points, I'd still have too much else that I was thinking about. If that's all you care about, then I don't mind it. But you've got to accept the risk of it going badly, that you might be 140 points behind at the end of the game week, and then it really is over. So I think I would go Welbeck over DCL now on free hit. It's really close between the two, though. It really is close. O'Reilly cap, is it really safe? It's not safe because everyone will be on Haaland, so you're taking a huge gamble going against a player who's going to be 200% owned. But any City leaks? No, the game is not until tomorrow. We're into the final few minutes before the deadline. Please be checking your teams. Make sure everything is locked in. You're not captaining Semenyo. No, Captain Haaland. Vice captain is on Palmer. Transfer made of Gabriel to Biol. Triple Brighton bench boost for Bruggen, Hinchelwood, Van Heck, and Bruno Fernandes. I'm bench boosting against Chelsea. Feels good. Great idea, Harry. Yeah, nice work. Vice captain without any Palmer, have the same squad. Probably O'Reilly or João Pedro then. Last question, Gabriel or Chow to bench? I'd probably start Chow over Gabriel. Gabriel to Hill with 2 frees? Probably not. It's close though. Probably not. If you're chasing, then maybe you go for the upside. But yeah, if you're not chasing, then I wouldn't. That's the thing with Gabriel. Like the Gabriel transfer is one for if you're chasing. If you're not chasing, then it's probably not. It's not worth it with low transfers. Semenyo or Cherky on free hit? I'd go Semenyo. João Pedro captain. Probably not gambling against Palmer and Haaland. Probably not for me. Well, you also going Calvert-Lewin versus Bournemouth. You do get Calvert-Lewin versus Bournemouth, yeah, but he's just very frustrating to own at times, Calvert-Lewin. He misses a lot of chances. Raya or Henderson on wildcard? Probably Raya. DCL and Welbeck over João Pedro. DCL and Welbeck over Pedro. Yeah, you can ditch João Pedro and go DCL and Welbeck. Welbeck or João Pedro. I would personally go João Pedro, but that is up to you. We are officially into the final minute before the deadline. That is all of the questions answered. Please go and check your teams. Check your captain. Check your vice captain. Check your chip is active. We have not played 32 weeks of this game this season in order for you to miss your chip on the biggest game week of the season. Please go and check your team, refresh it again, make sure the chip is active. I'm going to do the same. This is my team just so you can all see. Refresh, bench boost active. You've got Biol in, you've got bench boost, little box around it. That is how we are going. Make sure your team is ready. Make sure you are locked in for game week 33. There we go. Game week 33. Go and check your teams. Game week 33. Officially locked in. Game week 33. Gabriel to Visual. Saving the money as I missed the Gabriel price drop. Good for DAFCON. Haaland, captain. Bench boost, active. There we go. Right, that is the deadline. I do have a couple of things to do quickly, and then I do need to dart off quite quickly today. But let me just... one second, and then we will get on to the bits and pieces. Right, so first things first. Right. First things first, fantasy challenge. Fantasy challenge. So I'm actually not going to go Haaland. It's +4 fouls, and I'm going to go Cherky. Oh no, I want 2-2-2-1. I'm going to go Cherky in here. Fantasy challenge team. I probably won't activate my free hit today. No, I'll probably just save it. I probably won't make... maybe I'll make transfers. I'm out all day today, though, so... So, fantasy challenge is +4 for each foul drawn and +10 if you're fouled in the penalty area. So, I'm going to Dubravka, Goodmanson, Kadioglu, Scott, Cherky, and João Pedro. I'm actually going to go Cherky captain. Then the other thing is the last fan standing. Where is it? Here. Who are people going last fan standing? You all right? Oh, you need the keys. Who are people going? Leeds. Leeds have looked good. I think it's between Leeds and Forest for me. People going Leeds. West Ham. I went West Ham last week, so I can't go West Ham. I think I'm going to go Forest. think I'm going to go Forest. Does it save like that? Is it saved? I'm not sure I'd take Liverpool in that fixture. Yeah. Right, that is all. We are ready. That is it. I'm going to have to nip off. Thank you all very much. Good luck with your teams this weekend. Good luck with all your chips. Videos will be back next week with free hit 34 for me and anyone else on the chip. If not, we will also have content for those of you just looking to make transfers this week. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you for joining. Sorry for the quick, abrupt end. And yeah, I'll catch you all very soon. Bye.